Look at this building. Smooth lines, fluid curves, a shape as if sculpted from liquid metal. It flows and swirls so that it looks like it was drawn by a science fiction artist, not designed by an engineer. Your brain says one thing. It's a render. It's computer graphics. They don't build things like this in real life. But here's the thing. They're building this for real. Right now in Dubai, not just a house or a skyscraper is going up, an entire city. And it's not being built by a construction company, not a government or an architectural firm. It's being built by a car company, Mercedes-Benz. A company that has been making cars for over 100 years suddenly decided to build the world's first city under its own name. 12 skyscrapers, 13,000 homes. And it looks so unreal that the internet is seriously debating whether the renderings are fake. This is what's really happening. Now look why a car company would build a city. Dubai. For the past 20 years, it's been a showcase for the most expensive and ambitious things on the planet. The tallest building in the world is here. Artificial islands in the shape of palm trees are here. And the city has a clear strategy to become the world's luxury capital, where the world's richest people want to invest and relocate. And demand for luxury housing in Dubai is wild and steady. Apartments here are selling out even before the foundations are dug. And then a new trend, one many had overlooked, entered the scene. Luxury brands have gone into real estate, not advertising, not boutiques, into actual skyscrapers. If you can buy a bag, a watch, and a car from one brand, why not buy an apartment from the same brand? Porsche built a tower in Miami where residents ride their cars into a special elevator and ride up to their floor, to their apartment. Bentley is building a skyscraper nearby. Aston Martin, Bugatti, Lamborghini all have rushed to turn their logos into homes, a home as an extension of the brand you already love. And Mercedes-Benz decides not just to join in, but to make a bigger move than anyone else.
Mercedes isn't just joining the luxury tower trend. They are completely redefining it.
This is the company's architectural debut, its first ever residential project under its own name. And they're starting with a single tower. But why is all this happening in Dubai and not Germany, where Mercedes itself was born? There are several reasons, and they're perfectly aligned. There are virtually no taxes on such real estate here. It's a magnet for capital from all over the world. There are very relaxed development regulations and authorities who adore bold, record-breaking projects and help push them through. There's year-round sunshine and a reputation as a safe haven for the wealthy. And there are developers like Bugatti, willing to take on the most daring projects. In Europe, such a project would be bogged down in approvals for a decade. In Dubai, land for the capital city is marked out, and construction begins within months of its announcement. The city has all the conditions that transform fantasy into concrete. Meet Mercedes-Benz Place in the heart of Dubai. In the downtown district, just steps from the Burj Khalifa. 341 meters, 65 floors. This is a super tall building. That's what they call skyscrapers taller than 300 meters, a rare sight in the world. And its shape is unique, not your typical glass box. The tower resembles a streamlined teardrop, a bullet emerging from a sculpted base. Smooth lines, not a single sharp angle. It was designed to look like something from a car design studio, not a construction site. The budget is about $1 billion. And here's a fact that shows just how strong the demand is. When sales opened, almost half the apartments in the tower were snapped up in the first 24 hours. In just one day, people were buying homes in a building that didn't even exist yet, simply because it had a 3-pointed star on it. And here's another powerful mechanism, uniquely Dubai's at work. Buying an apartment in such a project isn't just a place to live, it's also a residence permit. In Dubai, purchasing expensive real estate entitles you to a so-called golden visa, a long-term residence permit for the entire family. This means that a wealthy buyer from anywhere in the world gets not just an apartment with a Mercedes logo, but the key to life in one of the most duty-free, safe, and prestigious cities on the planet. Combine this with a strong brand.
They aren't just selling premium concrete here. They are selling a lifestyle, an ultimate global status.
And it's clear why apartments are sold out in a day. They're not selling concrete. They're selling a lifestyle and passport freedom all at once. But one tower was just a warm-up. Because next, Mercedes-Benz announced something that will make everyone's jaws drop. Not a building, not 2 towers, an entire city. A project in the Meydan district, which its creators themselves call a city within a city. And here's its scale. 12 skyscrapers, more than 13,000 homes, an area of approximately 9 million square feet. Estimated investment, around 30 billion dirhams. That's more than $8 billion. The world's first branded Mercedes-Benz residential complex. Construction began in January 2026. At the heart of the city is its main tower. It even has a name, Vision Iconic. It's about 300 meters tall, and it's the one that looks the most fantastical. Imagine a skyscraper that rises not straight up, but in stages, gently twisting and curving as it rises, as if it were stretched and twisted while the concrete was soft. A stepped, fluid form, flowing into the main tower. It doesn't look like any ordinary building. Surrounding the main tower are 11 more skyscrapers, a park area, shopping boulevards, wellness areas, and transport hubs. And within the city, Mercedes has hidden yet another level of luxury, a collection of towers under the Maybach brand, its most premium sub-brand. Luxury within luxury. And since the city is being built by an automotive brand, a special focus is placed on mobility. The project includes transport hubs and infrastructure for electric vehicles and smart mobility, meaning the entire neighborhood is being designed from the ground up for the cars of the future, rather than adding charging stations later, as in older neighborhoods. Plus, there are green spaces, a park, and shopping boulevards within the neighborhood itself, so people can live, work, relax, and charge their electric cars without ever leaving this small city.
This isn't just a residential project. It's an entire ecosystem built around a single brand.
Essentially, Mercedes isn't designing homes, but a complete living environment centered around its vision of what premium living should look like. And here's the main question. How do you even construct a building that looks like it's made of plasticine? The real challenge isn't the height. Dubai has been building 300 meters for a long time. The challenge is the shape. See, here's the problem. A typical skyscraper is essentially a simple box. Straight walls, right angles, repeating identical floors. Designing and building something like that is relatively easy. One standard floor is multiplied upward 60 times. But now take a building that curves, twists, and tapers. Almost every floor is different from the next. The outer wall isn't vertical, but curved. And this entire fluid silhouette still needs to be supported by a sturdy frame, withstand the wind, and not collapse. A beautiful line on a render is always a headache for an engineer. But before we talk about the technology, it's worth understanding the idea itself. How can a building look like a Mercedes? The brand has its own design philosophy called sensual purity, a combination of smooth, almost lifelike surfaces with precise, calibrated details. This is exactly how the hood inside of the car are designed. Light flows smoothly along the curves of the metal without a single unnecessary fold. And the architects, together with Mercedes designers, worked for months to transfer this language from the car's body to the building's facade. The same fluid lines, the same contrast between soft form and sharp detail. Even the brand's signature pattern is imprinted on the facade surface. The idea is simple and bold. People should look at the tower and subconsciously feel that it's a Mercedes, even before they see the logo. A beautiful line on a render is always a headache for an engineer. And here's how they solve this problem. The secret is that the sculptural shell and the load-bearing structure are different things.
Behind these fluid, liquid metal lines hides a massive concrete core, keeping it all together.
Hidden within the building is a powerful central core, a sturdy concrete core that bears the load and supports the entire tower. And on the outside, a complex curved facade is suspended from the skeleton. In other words, the beautiful liquid shell doesn't need to be load-bearing. It has a separate role. Engineers working with international consultants construct the core in such a way that it allows for wide, open floors without a forest of columns inside, meaning panoramic views and spaciousness. The shape can be as bold as you like, as long as it's supported by a properly calculated core. Next comes the facade itself. To ensure the building's surface has the desired curve, it is assembled from numerous panels, often unique, tailored to a specific location on the curve. Today, this is designed using 3D digital models. A computer calculates every panel, every fastening point, every point where glass meets metal. Without digital design, such a fluid form would simply be impossible to calculate or assemble. This is precisely why such buildings have only become feasible in recent years. Even a 300-meter height has its own invisible enemy, the wind. The taller and slenderer the tower, the more it sways in the wind. At such a height, gusts of wind can noticeably rock the building. And if left uncontrolled, living at the top would be physically uncomfortable. People would simply get motion sickness. Therefore, super tall towers are designed to dampen this sway. First, a scale model of the building is tested in a wind tunnel, exposed to all possible winds, to see how the shape will behave in advance. In the finished tower, the load is borne by that same powerful core. Furthermore, the tallest buildings may have special vibration dampers at the top, heavy counterweights that sway in the opposite direction and calm the tower. A curvy, fluid form even helps here. Smooth contours cut through the wind better than a flat wall, which it hits head-on. This is why it has only become possible to construct such buildings in recent years. And there's another detail that's often cited as an example. In Dubai's heat, where summer temperatures reach over 105 degrees Fahrenheit, the huge windows and glass facades place a tremendous strain on the air conditioning.
In this brutal desert heat, the building itself captures the sun to power your future car.
And Mercedes' flagship tower responds to this with stunning engineering beauty. Part of its rear facade is made of solar panels. They capture the merciless desert sun and generate electricity. This electricity then feeds charging stations for electric vehicles within the building. The desert sun charges your car. The circle is complete. The car brand has built a building that powers its own cars. And luxury isn't just about form. Take the ceiling height, for example. In a typical apartment, the ceiling is about 270, maybe 3 meters. In the Mercedes flagship tower, the floor-to-ceiling height is over 4 meters. It sounds like a small thing, but from a construction perspective, it's a serious decision. The higher the ceilings, the fewer floors can fit into the same building height, and the more expensive each meter. You're paying for air, for a feeling of spaciousness, and it's precisely this feeling that the brand sells. And it doesn't stop with the building's form. Mercedes designers also took on the interior. The lobby, common areas, finishes, and materials, everything is in keeping with the brand's signature aesthetic. The same clean lines, luxurious materials, and subdued, automotive-like luxury of a premium interior, only scaled up to the size of a whole home. Plus, there's a full suite of amenities that people buy luxury homes for. Swimming pools, spas, gyms, private relaxation areas, and concierge service. The idea is that someone accustomed to the feel of a Mercedes interior will experience exactly the same when they walk into their own home. The brand envelops you not only from the outside, but also from the inside. But let's be honest, because this is important. In the beautiful videos and renderings, the city is already standing, shining, and alive. In reality, construction on the main city in Meydan began only recently. At the beginning of 2026, they only just broke ground. The exact date for when it will all be completed hasn't been officially announced yet. What you see in the videos is still a promise, a concept sketched out in graphics. The flagship tower in downtown is closer to the finish line, scheduled for completion in late 2026, and an entire city of 12 skyscrapers is a project for years to come. And here a fair question arises. Is this even realistic, or just another pretty picture that will remain just that picture? The world has seen high-profile megaprojects that stalled and fizzled out, but Dubai has something many don't, a reputation for delivering on its wild promises. The tallest building on the planet already stands here. They've already built islands in the shape of palm trees, once laughed at. Dubai sells apartments in advance, using a model where buyers' money goes directly to the construction site, and it consistently sees projects through to completion. Therefore, the stakes for this city's completion are quite high, although, as is usually the case, the deadlines will almost certainly slip. And there's another honest question worth addressing. Is this architecture at all, or ingenious marketing? Skeptics put it bluntly. These are essentially ordinary, expensive skyscrapers slapped with an iconic logo and sold at a premium for the brand. They say that a Mercedes car is made by Mercedes, but a house is still designed and built by ordinary architects and builders, with the company merely putting its name on it and setting the style. And there's some truth to that. But the project's defenders respond, what's wrong with raising the bar? When a brand with a century-old reputation puts its name on a building, it can't afford to skimp. The stakes are too high for its brand value. This forces both design and quality above the market average. Where art ends and advertising begins is up to each individual to decide. But it's precisely this debate that makes the project so controversial. That's the whole point. We're used to thinking of a brand as something you wear or drive. Mercedes-Benz has taken on a bigger challenge, turning the brand into a place you live in, an entire city, with its signature design woven into every curve of its facade. And what would have been impossible to imagine and build just 10 years ago is now becoming a reality, thanks to digital design, new materials, and the wealth that Dubai attracts. This isn't just a house anymore. It's the idea that a brand can surround you entirely, from the car in the garage to the city outside your window. And you know what's really interesting here? We've reached a point where the line between car design and building design is blurring. The same smooth lines, the same philosophy of form. Soon the question won't be, what kind of house do you live in? But what brand is your city? And Dubai, as always, wants to be the first to answer this question in concrete and glass. If you're interested in how people build things that seem completely impossible, subscribe. Here we break down the planet's most daring structures step by step. See you at the next impossible structure.